So now I'm going to show you how to balance your camera on the Varavon Birdycam Lite. It's actually really easy. I know it's kind of intimidating at first when you get a new gimbal and you're not sure of how to balance your camera because of all these different locking knobs and sliding components, but with the Birdycam Lite, these gimbals are designed specifically for small mirrorless cameras like the GH4 or the A7S, you know, with a small lens. So balancing it is not that big of a deal. And I'll show you how to quickly balance your roll, your pitch, and your yaw. So first things first, we have to mount the quick release plate onto the camera. And again, this is the Manfrotto compatible quick release plate. And we just kind of get it on the camera. Try to center it up with the length of your camera with the lens on it, and get that nice and centered. Like that. First thing we'll do is the roll, okay? And what we want to do with the roll is we want to lock in the pitch. So this knob over here actually locks down the motor so it doesn't pitch. Okay? So now the gimbal won't pitch. And that'll give us a way to fine-tune the roll, since that's the first adjustment that we're going to do. So we'll slide this onto here, and as you can see, it's already kind of heavily weighted on the left side. But let's just lock it in first. And here is where we're going to adjust the roll. This bottom knob over here. Not sure if you could see it, but you'll see sort of this these measuring lines over here. But essentially you unscrew this locking knob and you just slide the bar across it. And you slide it until you get balance on the roll. Since it's very heavy on this side and it has the battery over here, we want to slide it to the right, and there. It's pretty much balanced. Easy. So cool. So now let's lock the roll, and there's a bottom locking knob over here in the back, and we're just gonna lock the roll so we can adjust the pitch. Okay, so roll is now locked, and we're going to release the pitch on this motor by unscrewing that knob that we tightened earlier. Okay, so now our pitch is a little off. Here's a little trick that I learned from Cheesy Cam. What he likes to do is he likes to adjust it by having the camera basically on its back. So here's the locking knob to adjust the bar for the pitch. You'll see again some measuring lines over here. So what you want to do is put the camera on its back, and you just slide it until it stays and doesn't move, like so. And we just lock that in. Try to get adjusted here. You can also move the camera up on the mount to fine tune as well. So as you can see, the pitch is looking really good. Sits on his back, sits facing down. Nice. Okay, so last adjustment is the yaw. And to adjust the yaw, you just have to, it's basically this locking knob on the top here. To adjust the yaw, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the stand, you're gonna kind of hold the stand with the handles, and you're gonna just turn it. And you see how the gimbal kind of falls like that? There's like no resistance. That means that you want to adjust it so that it doesn't fall so quickly, right? It means the weight is off. So we're gonna release the locking knob here, and again, sort of move this yaw adjustment. You might want to lift it up a little bit because it's kind of heavy. I think adjusting it towards the back seems like the direction we should go in. Just gonna adjust the pitch. I think I touched the battery, so adjusting the pitch here. Yep. Okay, so let's test the yaw. Move it. So now it's falling. There's a little bit more of a balance. As you can see, it's not falling as quick, but I think we could do better. So let's again slide it back. I'll just a little bit. Tighten it up. Again, let's try it. Okay, a little too much, so we'll move it back, forward. Nice. I think that's it. Sweet. So now we're going to test our balancing. First thing you want to do is make sure that your motors are not locked. Here on the pitch, motor is not locked. Same with the yaw over here, and same with the roll. So make sure these aren't locked and keeping your motors restricted. So my wireless joystick is on. There's a blue light. Now I'm going to turn on the battery, and this essentially turns the gimbal on. So it's on. Immediately everything starts to balance. I'm seeing blue lights over here, and it's just like super stable. So I'm going to take the gimbal off the stand, and let's see how these motors are. Now already the weight of this is amazing. I mean, it's super lightweight. And as you can see, these motors, or the encoders in the motors, is keeping this camera like super steady. I mean, you can feel it. And I've used a number of gimbals, and I feel like this thing is just like solid, right off the bat. This is a GH4. The lens that's on it is a Canon FD 50mm, I believe, 28mm, and a Metabone speed booster. So it's, it's a little bit heavier than your typical mirrorless camera, only because it's using an older lens and an adapter, but it seems to hold it just fine. Let's test the follow mode and see if it pans with us. Okay, it's in follow mode. That's the second button. And yeah, you can see the camera is now in follow mode. Super smooth, I mean, and it's really quiet. You can't even hear the motors working. Again, so lightweight. With the original Birdycam, I would have already gotten tired, or my arms would have been feeling it. But yeah, this is a really, really nice design. The battery on the bottom is interesting. Not quite sure how I feel about it just yet. I know in the Ronin, they attach the battery on the back, on top of the back motor over here on top of the roll motor. But yeah, it's interesting that they placed it there. I believe it's because when you detach the handles, you're able to detach the handles and use the gimbal, whereas in the original Birdycam, the battery was mounted on the top handle, so you couldn't remove that. So I get it, that's a smart design. So thanks for watching this demonstration of the Varavon Birdycam Lite. I know a lot of you guys are asking me, do I get the Ronin M? Do I get the Birdycam Lite? Until I do a side-by-side comparison, it's hard to like make that decision for you. I have very specific needs that might be different from yours. I have a very specific camera system. It's all, you know, individual, right? Especially with gimbals. But I will say that the original Birdycam was something that I had a pleasure bringing to set each time. It was just a really easy, you know, system to build and to break down. And this just really improved upon it. Again, I'm not a big fan of the big gimbal systems. I know technically, you know, they're amazing, and I know the reasons why a lot of people like to use those, but for my needs specifically, I like to carry a very small camera kit and support kit. And this fits, the way this thing breaks down, the way that it's so modular. I can bring this on a plane, I can bring this when I'm traveling, and it's not a big deal. I'm not carrying like a heavy, you know, huge Pelican case and things like that. I feel like I bring this anywhere because it's so small, because it's so lightweight. It's not like intimidating if I break this out, you know, and start running around the streets with it. No one's gonna like question me. I don't maybe necessarily need my DIY backpack rig because I can hold it for a longer period of time. And the best thing I think is that these motors have these encoders. I have no idea what the encoders are. CheesyCam tells me that the encoders are awesome, but I can see why. It's just like, I don't know, I guess it's some sort of like crazy, you know, engineering thing. Who knows? I have to go into the PID settings to actually fool around with the simple BGC to actually see what's going on, but just out of the box, the thing is really sweet. So yeah, so if you have any questions or comments about the Birdycam Lite, just hit me up on the blog, runplayback.com.